All right, what's up, guys? Well, today I'm super excited to try out a brand new line of premium car care detailing products. This is Clean by Pan the Organizer. If you're watching this, if you've seen this video, you know who Pan the Organizer is. He runs one of the biggest, if not the biggest, detailing channels on YouTube, one of my absolute top go-to guys for all things detailing, and he's just come out with his own line of premium car care detailing products. Now, this is not, like some white label stuff where you add a color, pick out a scent, slap your label on it, and sell it. This is a proprietary blend. This is, him with a team of chemists who have spent, months tweaks and testing and everything else to get something brand new to the market. And so, again, super excited to try this out. I should have just bought everything. His initial offering was 6 different products and 2 ceramic coatings. But when I went to the store, I was immediately thinking about, the context of this video, which is, let's say that you're not a pro detailer, or even someone like me who's more like a hobbyist enthusiast, maybe has a cabinet of like 50 different products for 4 applications. Let's say that you are, just someone who's casually washes their car, only keeps a few products on hand to get their car clean. Well, what would you buy? So I initially went with the shampoo, a tire dressing, and the ceramic spray sealant. And we'll get into all the specifics of that as we go on. But yeah, I should have just bought them all, but it's fine. I'll make another order later. But anyway, so right now I got Nardo here. Nardo is, I would say, sufficiently dirty, not, crazy 2,000-mile road trip dirty, doesn't need a full decontamination, but is desperately in need of a car wash. And so I think these 3 products to start are probably a good use case for somebody who just needs a few things to wash their car. So to start, initial impressions, I gotta say, I love the design of the bottle. I'm a huge fan of simplicity. That's why I love the Kokemi bottles. They're very basic, very simple, very uniform look to them. And I think the same thing about this. I don't like a product that looks like a box of kids cereal where it's screaming at you, right? I like the simple stuff. So all of the bottles have this very consistent, very clean design, which kind of works well with the naming convention here. And speaking of the naming convention, I also like the fact that the name of the product is basic: shampoo, tire dressing, ceramic spray sealant, stuff like that, right? So nothing that you have to decipher the meaning of what the actual product is. The other thing I like to point out is that the instructions for the product, the basic instructions, are right here. So the shampoo, for example, will tell you how much to use in a foam cannon, how much to use in a wash bucket, so on and so forth. QR code that you can scan to get more information, so that's cool. When you get the bottles, you get this is just a regular top, but they include squirt tops or a spray nozzle for the sealant, also cool. The bottle feels like it's a good quality. And again, these products are designed to compete with top tier products because it is a premium line of car detailing products, but they're also priced, I think, super competitively. I watched the video where he made the initial announcement and said that they would be priced competitively, but didn't yet have the price. And then the release video, when I went to the website to look, honestly, I was surprised at how these things were priced. This bottle was only $19. For my full set of products, I spent less than $60. So, that's not bad at all for an out of the gate, not entry level, but an out of the gate offering. I think that's pretty good. Now, with the shampoo here, again, because I am your sort of average, buyer of some products here just to wash my car, and I don't have a cabinet full of stuff, I don't have a wheel cleaner. Now, this shampoo, I don't know that he explicitly said it could be used to clean wheels. I do remember that he said that you could put this in your wheels bucket and clean the tires. I kind of assumed that he meant the whole thing. But yeah, we're going to use this for paint and wheels because, again, I went to the store just to get a couple of things and didn't buy a dedicated wheel cleaner. So we're going to use the shampoo to tackle both. And Nardo's wheels, again, they're not crazy dirty. I do keep this car fairly clean, but they're dirty enough to where they need some help. So we're going to use the shampoo for everything. Let's go get started. Okay, now even though I am framing this under the guise of your sort of casual car washer, I am still going to use the cool stuff like foam cannons and whatnot because I want to see how this stuff foams out of a cannon. So I'm just going to do 1 ounce in the foam cannon because I don't need anything too crazy for the wheels, and then I'll do 2 ounces to actually wash the car. So let's get this going. Now, one of the other things that I forgot to mention right out of the gate is the smell of this stuff. Whatever the red starburst is in the tropical fruit pack, it's not strong, it's definitely not chemical, but yeah, dude, this stuff smells awesome. Not the best position to be in. Dude, that smell is fantastic. I think it's a good amount of foam. I think you probably would want to go for the, full 2 ounces if you're going to do the paint. But for doing wheels, you didn't have a dedicated wheel cleaner, this is what you're using. I think 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces is probably ideal. Or just squirt some in your wheel bucket if you're just going to take a microfiber towel and wipe the face of the wheel. Let's say you're not using a foam cannon. That would work just fine too. It's kind of interesting, actually, how some of it stays behind on the wheel, right? So like you have all your initial soap that sort of drips off, but then you have a good amount of it that just stays stuck behind. I mean, again, I don't know that this stuff is intended for use on wheels, more for paint, obviously, but still, that's pretty cool. All right, so the wheels on this side are done. Results look pretty promising. So I'm gonna go finish up the wheels on the other side, and then we're gonna load up the foam cannon and do the paint. You can already see, I think, yeah, tail end of the car is in the frame. So you can see it's already sun is starting to encroach in. I'm losing my shade. I could pull up further, actually. But one of the cool things is that, I don't remember if I mentioned it already, but you can use this stuff in direct sunlight, any of these products. So, well, at least the ones that we're testing today. So that is kind of cool. So I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, I'm gonna go finish up them wheels and we'll get to the paint. So the status of the soap, right? So I got about 2 ounces, maybe a little bit more in my foam cannon for the soap. I also have about 1/2 of my leftover foam cannon bottle from doing the wheels, which is not surprising because usually if I fill up an entire bottle of my foam cannon bottle with brake buster for wheels, I can get a couple of washes out of that undiluted. So I just dumped the rest of what I had for wheels from the shampoo in my soap bucket, got the pad, got the foam cannon already. So let's go try this stuff out on the paint. Very nice. Yeah, my only problem right now is that my whole driveway smells like tropical starburst, so I'm gonna have to run to the store. So, all right, let's get to the contact wash, see how that goes. Got a nice little foam buildup in there. Besides how good this stuff smells, the first thing I'm going to notice is how well the lubrication is, or lubricity as it were, right? So this stuff is very, very slick, and I like that it doesn't, besides what runs off, it still leaves plenty product behind in order to, make sure that your contact wash doesn't dry out. Now, even though I'm in direct sunlight here, panels aren't crazy hot, but notice that it's not drying out quickly, which is good. Them icon lights, though, they are sexy. All right, now the last thing I would say about the soap, in this case, the shampoo, is that I like the fact that it rinses off really, really easily. right? So sometimes you have a shampoo or a car soap that it takes a little extra effort to rinse off. And so for this, because part of the car is in the sun, I have the DI water on. And if you have a DI system, you know that the faster you can rinse your car, the more resin you save, and resin is very expensive. All right, now time for the product that I'm probably most excited to try out of this lineup, the ceramic spray sealant. So the car is clean, dry, ready to go. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to do a longevity test on this because I'm just going to, do this and, maybe wait a little bit. I am going to test out the hydrophobic properties because I'm going to wait for it to cure, then hit it with a little water again later, but we'll get to that. But right now, yeah, I'm going to do this with the preferred method for the best longevity. So again, this stuff will give you about 6 to 12 months of protection. However, to get the longest duration of protection, it's best to start with a dry surface. So I'm going to do 1 to 2 sprays per panel, maybe a spray on the microfiber towel, wipe and buff off. You can just use 1 towel and just flip the towel over to buff. However, I usually use 2 for drying aids. So I'm going to keep up with that same system here. But first, what does it smell like? Again, I don't know what the scent is, but to me, this keeps up with the theme of like a real subtle tropical vibe. Maybe papaya with like a hint of coconut or something. That stuff is awesome. Just a spray. Again, we'll start with the door. Just do 1 to 2 sprays per panel. Which is hard to just do 2 because normally we do a lot more, but spray sealants are a little different. Dude, that is not bad. Looks pretty nice. I don't want to touch it yet because it's about a 10-minute cure time, so I'll wait until it's totally cured before I actually go and check the smoothness of it, but that looks pretty good. Don't forget the door jambs, by the way. I hit them up too. All right, guys, well, one side done, and so far, I am loving this stuff. This is looking really, really good. It's nice, solid gloss on it. I don't know if you can tell so much because it's kind of in the shade a little bit now, but yeah, man, that is looking good. You do have to scrub a little bit harder to kind of even it out on glass. But everywhere else, it applies really nicely. All right, guys, well, time for the closer, the tire dressing. Now, you know that anybody who goes and buys some car cleaning supplies, definitely going to pick up something to put on their tires. And normally, I would use hyper dressing diluted 1:4 and apply that with my Detail Factory curveball brush. However, this stuff is good to go right out of the bottle. I'm just going to use a microfiber towel. You can use that. You can use a foam applicator or whatever you want. Also, this stuff it's solvent-based. It should give you up to a month of protection, depending on your driving and storage habits, whether or not you keep it in the garage or, if you're mudding, then probably not. But for the most part, should give you a pretty decent protection amount. Now, in terms of how this is going to look, what I expect is a nice satin sheen, which is the way that I prefer tires to look. I don't like a shiny tire. However, if you do, you can layer this. So you can do 2 applications. You can go around, do the whole car, wait for it to dry. It takes about 10 minutes for it to fully cure. Put on another application. You can get glossy tires. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but hey, you got to do you. So for me, I'm just going to do 1 application, get that satin sheen. We'll see how this works out. Actually, this kind of comes out almost like an oil. That's interesting. All right, so let's see. Get a little further back there so that you can't see the line, because you can definitely tell the area that has been treated versus what has not been. But yeah, that is perfect. This is how a tire should look. should have that nice finish, nice satin sheen. It's not overly matte, so it definitely doesn't look like, you know, some tire dressings. It's like you barely put anything on it. But this one, you can clearly tell it has been treated. And I mean, if you, I don't know, it's showing up on camera, but if you could see the line between what's not done and what's done, very definitive. So blend it in a little bit, but yeah, man, that is the perfect level of shine. And by shine, it's minimal. By the way, let's check out that gloss on the paint from the ceramic spray. Not bad. Anyway, yep, tires look great. That is exactly the level of sheen that I would want. All right, now in terms of drying, this stuff is just like the ceramic spray sealant. It takes about 10 minutes before it is cured. You can drive away on it. It's best to let it sit for an hour if you can, but after 10 minutes, it is good to go. All right, guys, well, Nardo is all cleaned up, and I gotta tell you, man, highly impressed with these products right out of the gate. I think this is a fantastic initial offering. I'm going to attempt to give you some like final thoughts and some specifics and not just say, oh, fantastic, because, you know, that's kind of lame. And certainly watch some other reviews that are probably going to be coming out, or if not already out, especially from the bigger channels. But really, I would suggest just go buy some. Go buy some and try them out for yourself. You can watch a million reviews, but really the best way to get an idea of how well these products work is just to go get them, right? So anyway, all right. So I gotta say though, with the way this car looked, now granted, there are some paint defects, I saw some water spots, but the way this car looks right now, man, I would not hesitate to take this to a Cars and Coffee, a car meet, a local show, whatever it is. It looks fantastic. The slickness of the ceramic spray, I think, is phenomenal. I tried it with, I hit it with some, I didn't have the pressure washer on, I didn't want to go crazy, but I hit it with some water. The beading on it is fantastic. And to dry it off, I hit it with the leaf blower and it sheeted right off. Didn't even need to use a towel. So in terms of the hydrophobics and the slickness for the ceramic spray sealant, does not disappoint. Okay, so let's go through these one by one, right? So start with the shampoo. If you are using a foam cannon, I think you're definitely going to want to use 2 ounces, especially if you're used to using some other products. Like I said, I usually use Kokemi Gentle Snow Foam. So in order to get the kind of approximation of the foam that I get from that, definitely have to go with 2 ounces with the shampoo. But otherwise, in terms of how it lays and how it drifts off, I mean, you don't want foam so thick that that it doesn't move, right? You want it to envelope any of the dirt on the surface and have it help run off, but leave enough behind so that when you come back for your contact wash, that there's plenty of slickness still on the paint, and I think the shampoo does a fantastic job at that. Next, the ceramic spray sealant, right? So this, again, 1 to 2 sprays per panel on a dry car is going to get you the best, results in terms of long-term durability. But, overall, regardless of how you use it, I think you can expect that level of shine and slickness and hydrophobic properties, right? So yeah, my overall experience with ceramic sprays is limited, but this stuff did not disappoint at all. And again, if you look at how slick that car is, look at how slick it is. It's kind of tough. You'd have to actually feel it. But if you see how glossy it is, yeah, I think you're going to be quite happy with this stuff. Now, if you get this if you are going to also do your windows, which I did the glass, because if I use this as a drying aid, when I typically use a drying aid, I do the entire car. You got to work it in a little bit more than the paint. I think the paint, it buffs off a little bit easier. With glass, you're gonna have to put a little bit more effort into it, but overall, not too bad. Okay, finally, the tire dressing. Now, this stuff, honestly, man, it's right out of the bottle, it is good to go. Like I said, I usually use hyper dressing, and I have to dilute it to not get a super glossy, look on my tires, because I hate that. But this stuff right out of the bottle, I think is the perfect sheen on the tires. And again, you can double it up if you like that glossy look, but I think for anyone who just wants a nice looking tire that doesn't look overdone, looks more natural, I think whatever the ratio is right out of the bottle, I think is perfect. It does have an oily kind of slickness to it. If you get it on your fingers, it does feel a little bit oily, but that's not how it dries. So if you feel it after it is dried, it is a nice clean feeling, but just heads up if you get it on your hands. Now, overall, in terms of how much of the product that you're gonna use for testing, if you just wanna give them a whirl, obviously grab the 16-ounce versions, but for the long run, for the shampoo, you will go through this quickly. So I would definitely recommend for long term, just save the money, get the larger. I think it's a gallon. It's either a gallon or 5. I think it's a gallon size. It's about $50. I think that is a pretty good deal. And then for the other two, I hardly use, like I did the entire car with 1 to 2 sprays per panel and maybe a little bit on your microfiber towel. Like there's a ton of this product left. And same thing with the tire dressing. There's like, I hardly touched this. So I think with 16-ounce bottles each, that's gonna last you a while. So fantastic deal in terms of cost per use. All right, guys, well, I think that is about it for this review. So again, I'm not an expert reviewer and stuff like this, so I would encourage you to go watch some other videos, get a better idea of some of these products. There might be something that I forgot to talk about that I missed, or something that I maybe should have looked out for, but overall, man, I don't think you can go wrong with this. And in general, the results are fantastic. So yeah, and really the best way to get an idea of how good these products work, just go buy them for yourself, right? I mean, I've been following Pan the Organizer for years on YouTube. The amount of stuff I've learned from his channel is immeasurable. Just the overall, detailing knowledge, the techniques, the tips, the product reviews. I mean, half the stuff I have between him and Matt Mormon are based off their recommendations and reviews and stuff like that. So I am more than happy to support his endeavors, to support his efforts, his new business. And I definitely will be buying the rest of the lineup. Especially, he's got an 8-year ceramic coating. That's absurd. My wife's over here asking where her ceramic coated car is, so I figure what better way than to try it out with Pan the Organizer stuff. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about these products. Certainly send Pan the feedback. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. And Pan, if you happen to catch this video, dude, congratulations. This is well deserved. Happy to support these products, and man, best of luck to your efforts. So, all right, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.